All right, Kenny. Hello, students. My name is Iranis, and we are going to start with another concept of APM, which is target costing, right? Target costing is something which we have already studied in past in F5. So you guys know a lot of things about target costing, but in today's lecture, I am focusing more on theoretical part because in P5 or in APM, you will find mostly issues related to the theoretical part of target costing, right? So this is something which we are going to start. Uh, let's just start with with this concept. What is the first step? We will discuss its advantages and disadvantages in later in this lecture, and then we will do one question in the next lecture. But let's just start with the first step. What is the first requirement of target costing? There are few steps which are involved in target costing. The first step identify is to identify a targeted selling price. Now, what do you mean by this targeted selling price? We need to identify a selling price at which company can sell a good amount of units to the customer. Now there is a question mark that what do you mean by this good amount of units in the economy or in the area? Um, First of all, I mean, for example, suppose targeted selling price is $100, then we need to question that how company has concluded that the target selling price is $100. Why this is not 105? Why this is not 95? I mean, why this is 100, right? So, for the establishment of targeted selling price, we need to first consider that what kind of product we are manufacturing, what kind of product actually we want to manufacture. I mean, there are two to three aspects of the product. I mean, what kind of quality we want to offer to the customer through this product, what kind of durability we want to offer to customer through this product, what kind of functionality uh, customer want from the product and we want to provide it to the customer, and what kind of reliability we want to offer to the customer. Why these four functions are important? Because you see, whenever you will assign a task to your target costing team to for the cost reduction process, then they must not compromise on these four areas, and to keep and I mean they must not reduce cost and compromise any of these four areas. So that is very important. We have to set a standard that look, a product cannot be less than this particular quality or maybe state, right? So these four things are required, and for the development of these four functions, these four things, we need to identify that what are the customer expectations, right? What are the customers expectations from the product? Like for example, if you are in the in the development process of a mobile phone, then there are few expectations from the customer. Like customer want suppose customer wants a good camera, customer wants a good touch screen, customer wants a prolonged battery life, a customer wants probably a good, very fast processor. So these are few expectations of customer from the product. So we have to keep in mind whenever we are trying to develop a product that look, we have to provide these three or four features in our product in order to satisfy the customer. Because if we are not providing that to the customer, customer will not buy our product. Because because target costing is usually applied in a situation when there is intense competition, right? If competition is done on quality basis, usually we don't follow this. If competition is based on price war, then definitely this is an ideal situation for company to follow, ideal method for the company to follow. So what is the customer expectation we actually need to identify? I mean, for example, if we are providing customer with extraordinary durability, I quoted this example before as well, because this is kind of thing which we have to keep in mind, that if we are providing extraordinary durability to the customer, for instance, we are providing customer with a product which can last for 7 or 8 years, but the mobile technology will change in one year or maybe 2 years. Customer will not be willing to keep our product for such long time. Then there is no need to provide that much durability to the customer. There was an era where 3310 has been launched. At that particular time, durability was very important, because now there is a phase of now there is a situation of a product replacement rather than repairing the product. So we cannot we there's no need to provide extraordinary durability or very high technology if customer is not willing to have that. For example, if we are developing a mobile phone which is actually we are targeting to some people who are in their 60s or maybe 70s, then we don't need to provide them with a lot of different extraordinary features. For them, the normal mobile phone with the normal Android feature is perfectly fine. They are not crazy about selfies. So we have to keep in mind what kind of customer we are actually targeting, right? Then another thing which is very important is competitors, right? What your competitor product is currently offering, because you see you have to analyze what is the current market trend, how what is the selling price which my competitor is charging from the customer. Because if my competitor is charging $50, we cannot charge more than $50. Or if we charge more than $50, we have to provide some extra uh, benefit to the customer for attracting him to pay us $10 or maybe $15 extra. So we have to analyze what the current what is the selling price of the close substitute of our product. What kind of strategy our competitor is following, how many units are currently selling in the market, what is the market potential. If we launch this product at this particular time, how many units company can sell considering the competitive situation, competitive environment. So this is very important thing. We have to understand what is the competitor psyche, and then we have to develop our product accordingly, right? So we have to keep these things in mind. I mean, for example, if competitor selling price is um, if we are producing any product which is of high quality as compared with our competitor, then we can charge high prices. Or I mean, here we can charge high price from the customer, considering the fact that we are providing them with extra quality. Or if we are and if our product is of low quality product, if we are not if we are providing them with some essential feature but not as much as competitor is offering, then we have to keep in mind that we have to launch this product at low price, because no one will be willing to pay us same amount as our competitor, because we got lower product. So this is a very common sense thing, right? So we have to identify the selling price, and for the development of selling price, we have to consider few more aspects as well. I mean, competitor price is important. What kind of competitor product competitor is launching, that is important. Then you have to compare the brand value. Now, what is the brand value concept? Suppose that what we are thinking that our product we can sell our product at $1,000, right? But our competitor is selling the same product at say a similar product at for example 1100. So what the market perception is our product, our company is better than the competitors, right? So if our company has been ranked as a better company as compared with my competitor, that means our product have a good brand value, right? So if we launch our product at $1,000, it will not be a good idea, because customer rank our product, our company well. I mean, this is the established company, and we are launching a new product. So probably we have to launch our product not at 1,000. We can launch the product at 1,200, keeping in mind that customer think that our product is this customer psyche, that our product is better than the other product. So we if that is the case, we have to keep that in mind, right? Then again, all these factors are important, durability in everything, right? uh, then the next phase is to identify a profit, targeted profit by identify I mean the next phase is to identify our targeted cost Targeted cost, how we can we calculate by deducting targeted by taking the difference between selling price and targeted profit. Now, there is another phase that look, we got this, we got $100 as selling price. We know that if we can sell it $100, we will be able to grab a good market share in current situation. Then we have to identify that what should be the targeted cost, because we know that we cannot sell our product at any amount which is more than $100. So we need to identify what maximum profit what kind of what profit we want from the from this product. For this, we have to analyze. Targeted cost. It's very important to identify targeted profit. And how can we identify profit? There are few areas. How much? The first thing which we need to consider is how much capital is involved in the project, right? If high amount of capital is involved in the product development, then probably we have to generate more profit from the product in terms of dollars. So in that case, we need to charge more profits. For example, if a capital of 1 million has been invested in the project, and there is another product in which company has invested around $600,000. So if the targeted if our investors want a 15% return, or if the management policy is to charge 15% profit from the from any customer, so 15 or maybe 10%. So 10% means we have to generate around 100,000 profit from this particular product, right? And if we are selling 10,000 units of the product, then that means we have to charge $10 profit from the product. Similarly, if the capital involved is 60,000, that means 10% profit will be around 60,000 divided by 10,000 units. That means what? That means we have to charge a $6 profit from the product. So the more capital is involved with the project, the more profit we want from the product. So in percentage term, it's 10%, but absolute term, it can increase or it can decrease. So if targeted selling price is $100 in this case, so we have to generate a profit of $10. That means my targeted cost will be 90. And in this case, if selling price is $100 and we want $6 profit, that means targeted cost is around 94. So there's a difference between targeted cost in both situations. So first of all, we have to identify how much capital is involved. Then we have to identify what percentage of return actually investor wants from our product, because that is also important. Then it's important to understand that what are the future projects of the company, because see, if you want to finance your future projects are riskier and this project is safe. Or if you want to finance your future projects from revenue generated from this particular product, then you have to charge high profits. Or if you think that customer, there's a good market in the project, this product has a good market, you can sell this product at at a good selling price, then obviously you can charge higher profit. So it all depends on the situation, but this point is very important in charging the profit, how much profit company should charge from the product, right? So from by deducting this targeted profit, we can come up what should be the targeted cost of the product, right? Then for target costing, for example, target cost is around, let's keep in mind that the target profit is, let's pick this $90. So now the targeted cost is $90, right? We need to identify that what is the expected cost of this particular product. Expected cost in the sense that we have to contact the research and development department, and we have to provide them with these specifications, that look, we got these are the specification: quality, durability, functionality, reliability, and this is the product which we want, this is the kind of mobile which we want you to produce. You are we ask R&D department or our product development department that, look, you have to develop this kind of product which should have these features in it. Suppose your product development department give you a cost that they can manufacture this product. Remember, the targeted cost is $90. Now expected cost is around 90. Suppose expected cost is around $94, or let's keep it $95. So that means what? That means what we ask from what we want is $90 cost, but what the R&D is providing is 95, right? So that means what? My expected cost is $5 more than the targeted cost. So this $5 is basically called cost gap. Now, what is cost gap? Cost gap is the difference between expected cost and targeted cost. Now, what we need to do now is we need to identify what how can we reduce, can we eliminate or reduce this $5 gap. I mean, there are a lot of things to consider at this phase, at this stage. um, if you want to reduce this $5 cost, you have to identify areas where you can improve. And in this situation, we usually apply value engineering concept. Now, what is value engineering concept? Value engineering means to we try to we try to change we try to change we try to reduce our cost of the product without compromising on what is the requirement from the customer. I mean, without compromising these four areas, we actually wants to reduce our cost as much as possible. And how we can do that? We have multiple options for that. So one thing, let me clear, there are two concepts: value engineering and value analysis, right? Value analysis is something which we are not talking about. Value analysis means value engineering is done before launching of the product. Value analysis is done after launching of the product. So we haven't launched our product yet. So we are actually following value engineering. Now, how can we re-engineer our product? How can we change our product? There are multiple options, right? First of all, we have to identify if there is a non-value added activity in the organization. Non-value added activity in the sense that there are certain things which there are certain activities which organization is performing but which are not adding value to the product. For instance, if we are spending too much money on the designing phase, on the planning phase, or if it is expected that uh, we are uh, we are actually um, spending so much cost on storage area, um, or the batch processing area, or anything which is not creating actually value to the product, warranty and after sales services, anything. So we should try to eliminate those costs, right? So that is something which we need to identify. Or if there is a duplicacy in the production process, if a process is carried out more than one time, so we can try to integrate those processes. Or we can try to simplify the design of the product, in the sense, the more complicated product design is, there are more chances that there will be our labor will be not be able to produce that product well, to manufacture that product well. So we have to keep our design simple. We have to keep our design in such a manner that labor will not be able to produce a bad product, right? So that's something which we need to do. Further, we can identify in case of if we are expecting any wastage, can we reduce that wastage? If we are expecting that, for instance, if can we replace our if we are using any specialized part, can we replace our specialized part from some standard parts, because the standard parts are usually less expensive and easy to handle. If you have a specific part, if you have a specific design of parts, then it's usually expensive and difficult to handle. So can we do that? Can we have a different supplier of raw material? Can we secure our material from any other supplier which give us more favorable terms and conditions? What supplier, in the sense, for example, our supplier is providing us raw material at $10 per unit, and suppose we ask our supplier that, look, we will give you around 60% orders of this particular component for the whole life of this product, provided that you supply us product at $8 per unit, right? So we did actually what we actually transferred our cost reduction burden to the supplier, right? without compromising the quality, of course. So supplier will try to, to grab that big order from our company. He may try, that division, that company may try to come up with some different ideas to produce this product, this component at lower price. So this is something which we can, motivate our supplier, give them some incentive in order to reduce that cost. That thing which we can do. Similarly, we there's one more point here is, if we can secure our material from supplier worldwide, instead of buying locally, then we can do that as well. Labor cost can be, idle time or some those of cost can be reduced. Activity based costing can be used to eliminate, to reduce certain overheads from the product from product. So these are few steps which company can perform. These are value engineering concepts. I mean, we are trying to alter, we are trying to change the design, we are trying to, bring some changes in the manufacturing side of the product without compromising the quality of the product. But we have to keep one thing in mind, that at this particular stage, if we are trying to, I mean, we are busy in reducing the uh, uh, cost of the product, but we have to keep in mind that there is always a right time to launch the product, right? If we have to keep in mind that we cannot prolong this cost reduction process. I mean, we have to carry out this cost reduction process within a time period, within a time frame. I mean, if you take longer time to reduce this cost and product launch get delayed, its market share can be compromised. There can be some, I mean, we will not be able, probably there can be chance we'll not be able to sell more units in that particular case. So we have to keep in mind that this cost reduction process must be done within a time frame. That is very important, right? So these are few areas which we need to identify now, which we need to do. Acha. Then there is one more point. For example, we want our research and development department to bring the cost of the product to $90, right? There is ideal cases that R&D can, our research and development department actually brought you this cost to $90. If that is the case, then that means you were successful in applying target costing. But there can be a situation when the targeted cost is $90, but your research and development department is saying that, look, the minimum cost, the lowest cost which we can at which we can produce this particular product, considering the time constraint, is 92. We cannot produce our cost less than 92. So now what we have, what decision we have to make. We have two options. Since the cost is $92 right now, because we cannot reduce cost less than 92, so there is an option that we want a $10 profit from the customer, then we can add 10 and sell our product at $102. Or there is another option, which is what? All right. There's another option which is, since cost is around $92, we can compromise our profit and we can launch our product at $100, and we can compromise our profit to be around $8. This is another thing which we can do. Now, preferable option, what option we prefer is this $100. Is this option that we can compromise on profit and we can launch our product at $100, because this $100 is a selling price at which it is suitable to the market, because we are not in a position to introduce a selling price at our own. We are actually in a competitive environment, so we have to accept the selling price which is prevailing in the market, right? So this is something which we have to do. So 100, we must launch our product at $100 selling price. And what can we do with this $2? We can try to apply Kaizen costing in future in order to reduce this $2 cost. Now, what is Kaizen costing? Kaizen costing is basically value analysis, and we try to introduce few cost reduction programs, so that we can reduce our cost. So we will do it later. Kaizen costing is a topic which we'll discuss later. So this we can do now. For the application of target costing, examiner may ask that what are the advantages of activity based costing, or I mean, what if a company apply target costing, what are the why a company should use target costing? So the first advantage of target costing is basically cost leadership. Cost leadership in the sense, company is manufacturing this product at the lowest cost, right? So this is basically a kind of this is basically something which we have achieved, and we are manufacturing this product at the lowest cost in the market, right? So we can dominate in the market by through this we can fix a selling price which will be acceptable for customers, right? So cost leadership is can be achieved through target costing, right? What China is doing is basically the same thing. The second one is there is a real cost reduction in the sense that we are not we are not following something short term, right? Whatever cost reduction we are proposing in target costing, that is more longer term concept, right? I mean, we have changed the design that is a permanent solution. We have changed we have asked supplier to reduce the cost of a component, that and we made a contract, so that is a permanent solution, that is a permanent thing. Quality, without compromising the quality of the product. So this is something which is a real cost reduction. I mean, we haven't compromised the quality of the product in order to reduce cost. We actually brought practical changes in the product, right? Then design and process improvement is permanent. We have changed the design of the product to better suit the customer. We have changed the process of manufacturing, process of assembling something we have changed, and that is a permanent one. This is not a short term change. So design improvement is done at the at the before launching the product, at the initial stages of the product, right? What is the next benefit? Non value added activities have been eliminated, right? Because these activities are those activities which are consuming our resources but not adding any value to the product. So we just eliminate, or we reduce as max to the maximum level these activities, so that our resources cannot get wasted, right? Then there is another thing which is target costing brings some innovative ideas on the development of the product. I mean, if you cannot do it like this, you can do in some other ways. I mean, for example, here I would like you to see a documentary movie which is based on a case study of Tata Nano. Uh, Nano is basically a car launched by Indian manufacturer Tata Motors, where they said that uh, before launching the product, before anything, they just said that we will launch a product at 1 lakh Indian rupees, and then they started the designing, the restructuring phase of that particular car. So we can bring some innovative ideas how to produce the product within the cost limit without compromising the quality of the product. So that is something to think outside the box, that what can be done in this situation. And then this is a market driven strategy. We are not ignoring, this is market driven strategy. We are not ignoring what the customer requirement is. We are keeping in mind what customer wants. We are keeping in mind what the market trends are. We are keeping in mind what the selling price is prevailing in the market. We are providing everything which is consistent with the market right now. So our policies, our way of doing things is very compatible with the market wants, with what the customer actually wants from our company. Then there is a proactive approach in the sense that cost is reduced cost reduction is done before the launch of the product, rather than saying that, oh my god, my cost is continuously increasing, so let's reduce our cost. We try to reduce it before the launch of the product. So and again, there is a coordination between sales and production in this situation, because production department is actually manufacturing the product which actually sales department is asking it to manufacture. And how and what sales department wants, sales department wants this department to manufacture a product which is actually the requirement of the customer. And how can we know this? We can know through the first step which we have already discussed, that customer reliability, what the customer wants, durability, quality, functionality, reliability. So we are actually producing the same product. So better allocation of resources is another advantage. uh, Better resource allocation, in the sense that we are allocating our resources on the value added activity, not the non value added activity. And for this, we usually start thinking from design phase till the after sale services. I mean, the whole procedure is evaluated in order to minimize as much cost as we can without the compromising on the quality of the product. The only problem with the target costing is that it's a time consuming exercise. I mean, if you want to reduce the cost of the product, it can lead to a time, it can be a time taking activity. Like in the same case study which I'm recommending, I'm strongly recommending you guys to see this. In this situation, what they did is they achieved the targeted cost, but by the time they achieved the targeted cost, inflation, that was 2008 phase where petrol prices have increased, where a lot of commodity prices have been increased. So again, they got a challenge, and then they have to further uh, improve their design to further reduce the cost of the product. So we cannot pass that, we cannot prolong this process much, because if you prolong this process, probably you will not be able to get that much benefit from the customer as it's required. So this is basically a very simple description of target costing, which we have already studied in past. In the next lecture, we will do one question of target costing, and let's see how we can apply these concepts to that particular um, question. Thank you so much.